how do we institute a complaint for disbarment or suspension against a lawyer? Gusto mo ireklamo isang abogado, alam niyo, pag naging abogado ang tao, ay we are open to all kinds of complaints. Di ba? May kliyente, hindi mo na-satisfy, ipapadisbar ka niyan. Yung jowa mo, inayawan mo dahil ayaw mo na talaga, nakko, pag nalamang abogado ka, ipapadisbar ka niyan. O, di ba? As if, santo yung abogado na wala ng karapatang gumawa ng mali. O, ay totoo naman, sabi ng Korte Suprema, there is no dichotomy of standards to be used against the lawyer. Hindi pwedeng excuse ng lawyer na ginawa ko yung misconduct or misbehavior as a private citizen, not as a lawyer. Why? You cannot divide your personality to be a lawyer at one time and a private citizen at another. Hindi pwede yun. Once a lawyer, you are always a lawyer. It's like committing the crime of subversion, a continuing offense. Although wala ng subversion nga ngayon as a crime, ano? Because the Republic Act 1700 is already repealed by Republic Act 7636. Ha? Okay. And take note, yung bagong desisyon ng Korte Suprema, ha? Na yung red tagging is illegal. Okay? Kasi nga, wala na tayong subversion law ngayon. Hindi na crime ang maging komunista. Ang crime ngayon, yung mga oportunista at mga sadista. Pero yung komunista, hindi na crime yan. Okay? Oh. So how do you file complaints against a lawyer? It may be commenced motu proprio on its own initiative by the Supreme Court. Kaya pag may order ang Korte Suprema, abay susunod kayo. Ha? Otherwise, ang Korte Suprema mismo magdisiplina sa inyo. That's the basis why Lorenzo Gadon was disbarred by the Supreme Court on its own initiative, although may complaint. Ha? Oh, yan. Or upon filing of a verified complaint by any person before the Supreme Court or the integrated bar. So pwede na mag-file ng complaint sa Supreme Court or sa IBP. Saang IBP yan? Kahit sa local chapter pwede or sa national office. Okay? Now, kailangan ay verified yung complaint. Pwede sa Supreme Court. At yung Supreme Court naman, i-refer sa IBP for investigation, report, and recommendation. May konting pagbabago dun sa investigation na yan, report and recommendation. Kasi wala ng Commission on Bar Discipline. Meron na lang tayong 50 investigators. Na-constitute na yan at in-appoint na ng Korte Suprema. Okay. Now, complaints for disbarment, suspension, and discipline filed against incumbent justices of the Court of Appeals, Sandigan Bayan, Court of Tax Appeals, judges of the lower courts, or against government lawyers or against lawyers in the judicial service. Take note, lawyers in the judicial service. So if the lawyer is an employee of the government, hindi ito mag-a-apply na idadalin mo muna sa Supreme Court. Okay? Whether they are charged singly or jointly with other respondents, and whether such complaint deals with the acts unrelated to their official function, shall be forwarded by the IBP to the Supreme Court for appropriate disposition under Rule 140 as amended. Okay? Kasi dati, pag government lawyer, kasama dyan, na hindi aaksyonan ng IBP, i-forward mo na sa Supreme Court. But right now, the CPRA, Section 2, is very clear na lawyers in the judiciary na lamang. So pag government lawyer ito at hindi sa judiciary, gusto mo ipadisbar, diretso mo na sa IBP. And the IBP will commence the investigation. Okay? Unlike before na pag government lawyer, dadalhin mo pa sa Supreme Court at ang Supreme Court ang mag-decide kung paano ang investigasyon na gagawin. Maliwanag. Why? Indeed, the success of a lawyer in his profession depends almost entirely on his reputation. So anything which will harm his good name is to be deplored. As a lawyer's reputation is a plant of tender growth, and its bloom once lost is not easily restored. Diba? That's why in my legal ethics classes, may illegal ethics ako sa Baste at saka sa UNOR. Sa UNOR naman ay online. ang exercise ko sa kanila, I'll give them names of lawyers. Okay? And you tell me, you give me one word that comes first into your mind when you hear the name of that lawyer. And you'll find out na talagang minsan consistent eh. Oh, bibigyan ako ng pangalan ng lawyer, ano yung una mo naisip? So pare-pareho lumalabas eh. Okay? Tulad ng lawyer na yan na okay. O ngayon, in the case of Attorney Galicinao versus Attorney Castro, sabi ng Korte Suprema, people are accountable for the consequences of the things they say and do even if they repent afterwards. Madali magsisi. Pero tapos na. The fact remains that things done cannot be undone. No matter what you do, it cannot be undone anymore. Words uttered cannot be taken back. Therefore, he should bear the consequences of his actions. Kahit nag-sorry ka na eh. Kaya nga nila, ang sorry ay hindi gamot at di maaaring gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri, sa anumang paulit-ulit na pananakit. Ayan. Okay? So, sabi ko wala na yung CBD. Ang ipinalit ng Korte Suprema ay yung 50 investigators. These are lawyers in good standing and repute whom the IBP shall proportionately select from its 9 regions. The IBP has only 9 regions. Okay? Bakit ganon? Kasi ganito yan. Halimbawa, yung Northern Luzon region. So kasama na doon yung mga probinsya ng Ilocos Sur, Ilocos Norte, kasama pa yung Pangasinan, Abra, Benguet, Isabela, lahat na yan, pati yung Cagayan Valley, Batanes, lahat yan Northern Luzon. So iba yung political region at saka yung IBP region. Paano nangyayari yon? Every province is an IBP chapter. Halimbawa, Batanes chapter. So ilan ang abogado dyan? Mag-i-elect yan ng mga officers. Tapos yung mga officers na yan, yung tawag na House of Delegates, ng lahat ng chapters, they will meet. Tapos mag-select sila ng isang governor. So regional governor yan. That's why there are 9 regional governors ng IBP. O yan na yung Board of Governors. Yan ang mag-elect ng national officers. Liwanag? Now, in Metro Manila, hindi per province ang chapter. Manila alone has 3 chapters. Diba? Quezon City has 1. Makati is another chapter. Yung Pasay, Parañaque, Las Piñas, Muntinlupa, PPLM kung tawagin, that's another chapter. In northern part of Metro Manila, yung Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, and Valenzuela. Another chapter naman yon. Tapos yung southern part ng Metro Manila, kasama yung Rizal Province, Rizal chapter yon. Rizal, San Juan, Mandaluyong. But all other municipalities in Metro Manila, including Taguig and Pateros, are parts of the Rizal, San Juan, Mandaluyong chapter. Okay? So, ganon. But in the provinces, isang probinsya, isang chapter. Yan ang organizational structure ng Integrated Bar of the Philippines based on the rules of court. Rule 140. Okay. So from the 9 regions, mag-nominate ang IBP ng 50 lawyers. They will serve as investigators and they will be appointed by the Supreme Court. So yung inaprubahan lamang ng Supreme Court ang pwedeng i-designate as investigator. So anong trabaho nila? Bawat investigador, siya mag-i-investigate ng mga complaint. Siya magpapatawag ng hearing if needed based on the provisions of Canon 6. Siya rin ang magsasubmit ng report at recommendation sa Board of Governors to be submitted to the Supreme Court for decision. Okay? So, ang term of office nila ay 3 years unless sooner removed or replaced or nag-resign. That's new. Kaya wala na yung Commission on Bar Discipline. Ang nag-iimbestiga na sa mga complaints against lawyers under Section 4 ng Canon 6 ay mga investigators. So what is the quantum of proof required in disciplinary sanction? Kanina nabanggit na natin yan, substantial evidence. Under Section 32 of Canon 6, substantial evidence is that amount of relevant evidence which a reasonable mind might accept as adequate to justify a conclusion. That's how you define substantial evidence. Yan naman ang quantum of proof ever since. Kaya lang, dinefine na ano ba itong substantial evidence na ito under Section 32 of Canon 6. Now, while under investigation, the lawyer may be put on preventive suspension. How is that? After receipt of respondent's answer, kasi may complaint, hindi ba? Iniraffle dun sa investigator. Yung investigator will issue a subpoena to the lawyer kasama yung complaints laban sa kanya. Of course, verified complaint yan with the attached evidence, documentary or otherwise. The lawyer will be required to file an answer or counter affidavit. Okay? Now, the Supreme Court, on its own initiative, or upon the recommendation of the IBP Board of Governors, the Office of the Bar Confidant, or sometimes the Supreme Court may designate a fact-finding body under Section 30, may suspend the lawyer. Of course, ang suspension will be ordered by the Supreme Court. So wala nang pwedeng magsuspindi sa mga abogado kundi ang Supreme Court. Kasi even the IBP investigators would just have to recommend to the Supreme Court. At ang Supreme Court ang mag-impose ng penalty. So the lawyer may be suspended from the practice of law during the pendency of the investigation for a period not exceeding 180 days. 180 calendar days ito, or until such suspension is lifted by the Supreme Court. What is the purpose of that preventive suspension? According to Section 31, Canon 6, in order to prevent interference or obstruction of the investigation, tampering, concealment, or destruction of evidence, intimidating, or exerting undue influence on any witness. So para maiwasan yan, the lawyer is put on preventive suspension, but only the Supreme Court can order that. Dati-rati kasi, the Court of Appeals, the Regional Trial Court judges may suspend a lawyer from the practice of law. But right now, the rules are different. Okay? So kaya kung ang naaral pa ninyo ay yung lumang rules, better read the new rules under the CPRA, and which we are discussing right now. Okay? So what are the grounds for disciplinary sanctions? You have Section 33 of Canon 6. There are 1 to 21 serious offenses. Okay? Kapag kaya na na-commit, malamang disbarment yan. Then, Section 34, 1 to 15, list of less serious offenses. Siguro, suspension, ranging from 1 month up to 2 years or even 5 years. And then Section 35, light offenses. There are just 15 in the list. Okay, so most probably yan, fine lang yan, or depende sa order ng korte, Kasi ang IBP naman, recommendatory na lang ito. The Supreme Court will be the one to impose the proper penalty. Now, if a lawyer committed multiple offenses arising out of the same or different transactions, ano yan? Ito ang sabi ng CPR. If the respondent is found liable for more than one offense arising from separate acts or omission or in a single administrative proceeding, the court shall impose separate penalties for each offense. Okay? Now, the separate penalties. In one offense, 2-year suspension. In another offense, 3-year suspension. May another offense pa pala siya. 1-year suspension. O, di 6 years na yun. Or, instead of suspension, pinimpose siya ng fine. Parang katulad dun sa PAW, na instead of suspension, ang ginawa ng Korte Suprema, minultahan ng 180,000. So dito naman, pagka 1 million yung fine, ang total, the respondent in the discretion of the Supreme Court may be meted the penalty of disbarment. Diba? Kasi marami na siyang offenses eh. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, pagka sinuspindi ang abogado, that suspension carries with it a corresponding warning. Na pag inulit mo, severe penalty na yan. Ano ba severe penalty? Dismissal or disbarment. Ano? Now, while suspended, the lawyer must desist from practicing law until the suspension is lifted. Okay? Now, alam nyo na, kaya nga dinefine natin kung ano yung practice of law, di ba? Even preparation of pleadings is practice of law. Teaching law subjects is a practice of law. Oh, kaya nga kanina doon sa anonymous complaint, di ba? Hindi siya pinagturo for 10 years. Okay? Now, a suspended lawyer who continues to practice merits disbarment. Here is a curious case of Father Sapra versus Attorney Pagatpatan. Ano nangyari dito? I think it is in Surigao del Sur na itong si abogado ay suspended since 2005. Okay? But he continued to practice. Siguro hindi niya pinaalam doon sa korte sa lugar nila at hindi rin nalaman ng mga tao doon na suspended pala siya. Eh kasi 2005 wala pa namang Facebook niyan. Diba? Medyo may internet na pero hindi ganun kaganda ang internet. Eh ngayon nga, mabagal pa rin ang internet natin eh. Ay kung sinasabi, mga internet provider natin para mga jowa nyo lang eh. Ang dalas nagloloko. Ang dalas unstable, hindi ba? So we just hope and pray na magandang internet connection nyo, ha? Ako yan, lagi kong panalangin na magandang internet connection because that is the only connection I have. Internet connection. Okay? Ayan. So he was suspended in 2005. But lo and behold, he was practicing. Practice siya. Until such time na yung mga kliyente niya pinailan ng kaso ni Father Sapra, I think it was estafa. So ang ginawa nito si Attorney Pagatpatan, he wrote the bishop. Sabi niya doon kay bishop, pagsabihan naman daw itong si Father, kasi nasaan na yung essence of forgiveness. Ba't kailangan niya pang pailan ng kaso? And there na-discover nung pare, na suspended ka pala, bakit ka nagpa-practice? So the lawyer was disbarred. Why? During the period of suspension, you have to desist from practicing law. A suspended lawyer who continues to practice merits disbarment, and he was disbarred. Okay, so what happens when the lawyer already served the period of suspension? Kasi dati may indefinite suspension. O dito, wala namang nakalagay na indefinite suspension. So let's say, suspended for 1 year. After the lapse of 1 year, may the lawyer continue to practice na? Can he resume practicing? Natapos na yung 1 year suspension. According to the Supreme Court, in the case of Paras versus Paras, 2017, it must be stressed, however, that a lawyer suspension is not automatically lifted upon the lapse of the suspension period. Okay? The lawyer must submit the required documents and wait for an order from the court lifting the order of suspension before he or she resumes the practice of law. Okay? So hindi porke natapos na yung 1 year suspension, you appear in court now already. That's not the proper way to do it. So what do you do? O wag naman mangyari ito sa inyo, no? At wag mangyari sa atin. Na suspend yung lawyer for 1 year. After 1 year, he cannot resume practicing law. Section 45 of Canon 6 outlines the procedure. Okay? Here is the procedure. Upon expiration of the period of suspension from the practice of law, the lawyer shall file a sworn statement. Take note, sworn statement to the Supreme Court through the office of the bar confidant. And what should your petition, sworn statement contain? That during the suspension period, he has not appeared before any court or tribunal or government agency, whether in respect of current or former prospective clients. So pagka nag-appear ka at ito nilagay mo, you're lying. So madidisbar ka dyan. Okay? That he has not signed or filed any pleading or other court submissions. Okay? So signed pleadings, di pwede pumirma. Pwede ba siyang mag-prepare ng pleadings? Baka pwede, kasi sabi lang naman dito, hindi siya pwede mag-sign. Ha? Pero preparation of pleading, I know, is a practice of law. Tapos, ano pa requirement? He has duly informed his or her clients na nasuspend siya, yung law firm, the law school kung nagtuturo siya, the legal clinic or legal aid service kung siya ay connected doon, tungkol sa kanyang suspension. And has not otherwise performed any act directly or indirectly that amounts to the practice of law. Okay? Yan nakalagay sa sworn statement. Ganito mangyayari. The sworn statement shall state the date of the lawyer's receipt of the order of suspension. Kasi, pag tinanggap mo na, saka pa lang mag-start yung counting of the period of suspension. That's why yung mga lawyers minsan, pag nasuspend din, na nagpa-file ng motion for reconsideration. Kasi pag nag-file ka pa ng motion for reconsideration, matatagalan pa yung commencement ng suspension. Diba? Kasi i-resolve pa yung MR mo eh. In the meantime, pwede ka mo mag-practice. Baka nalagay ka na sa preventive suspension eh. Diba? Ayan. Now, as well as the list of lawyers' engagements affected by the suspension, indicating the relevant court, tribunal, or other government agency, if any. So nakalagay yun doon. And copies of the sworn statement na ipinail niya sa Office of the Bar Confidant, copy furnish yung local chapter ng IBP kung saan siya kasali, the executive judge, katulad sa Cebu, di ba, dalawa ang chapter dyan, Cebu chapter at saka Cebu City chapter. Parehong magagaling na chapter yan, mamili na lang kayo kung saan yung gustong sumali. Pareho naman natin mga kaibigan yung mga opisyal dyan. At madalas tayo dyan sa Cebu, no? In fact, mas madalas pa nga ako dyan sa Cebu kaysa doon sa chapter namin sa Rizal. Kasi doon sa Rizal chapter, once a year lang kayo mag-MCLE. Pero sa Cebu, twice or 3 times a year, nandyan ako for MCLE. Okay? So yung executive judge of the courts where the suspended lawyer has pending cases handled by him or her, or kung saan siya nag-a-appear as counsel. So copy furnish ito para alam na suspended siya. At bibigyan din ng kopya ng sworn statement. Kasi yung order of suspension, pinapadala ng Supreme Court yan. Hindi mo kailangan silang bigyan ng kopya. Ang kailangan mo silang bigyan ng kopya kasi nalaman nila that you are suspended. So, ang kailangan mo silang bigyan ng kopya yung sworn statement mo. Okay? Now, sworn statement shall be considered as proof of the suspended lawyer's compliance with the order of suspension. Such lawyer shall be allowed to resume the practice of law upon filing of the sworn statement before the Supreme Court. Okay? So, maliwanag. Pag nag-file ka na, nabago na yung ruling dun sa Paras versus Paras. Aantayin mo pa yung lifting ng order of suspension. According to Section 46, Canon 6, once you filed with the Supreme Court through the OBC, Office of the Bar Confidant, your sworn statement na tapos na yung period of suspension, yan na yung compliance mo. However, any false statement in the sworn statement shall be a ground for complaint, for disbarment. So kaya wag magsisinungaling dyan. So it is now the duty of the Office of the Bar Confidant to examine your sworn statement. And you have to be informed within 5 calendar days, o 5 days lang ang nakalagay, from the time of filing, kung merong false statement doon. Kasi kung may false statement, i-refer sa Supreme Court yan, baka madisbar ang abogado. Okay? So be truthful para wala tayong problema. Now, there's a new decision, new dahil 2023, 2024 tayo, Valdez versus Hipe. It is a case of a senior lawyer in the law firm sexually harassing a junior lawyer, a lady lawyer. Alam nyo, yung mga, hindi ko nila lahat kaya lang yung mga ganyan, sabi nga ng Korte Suprema, sexual harassment is abuse of power. So kaya siya nangaharas kasi powerful siya sa tingin niya eh. At yung bagong pasok na lady lawyer ay wala pang power, bago lang eh. Diba? Trying to establish a name or reputation in the legal profession. Yan ang sabi ng Korte Suprema eh. Instead na tulungan mo, inaharas mo eh. Diba? May mga ganyan, pero di naman lahat. Now, according to this case, the Supreme Court has clarified that a suspended lawyer no longer needs to await the processing and granting of certificates of compliance from courts and quasi-judicial agencies. The lifting of the lawyer's suspension should be reckoned from the time of filing the required sworn statement. So kung suspendido ang lawyer for 1 year, after 1 year, nag-file na siya ng sworn statement sa OBC, nag-lapse yung 5 days. In-inform siya ng wala namang sinabi ang OBC na may false statement siya doon, as a necessary consequence of the automatic lifting of suspension, the resumption of the practice of law is likewise deemed automatic. So are we clear on this? That is now reversing the decision in Paras versus Paras in 2017. At yung kasi ang standard before the implementation of the CPRA. Diba? Ulitin ko lang. Before the CPRA, under the rules of court, magpa-file ka ng sworn statement. And then, you wait for the decision of the court to lift the order of suspension. But under Section 46 of Canon 6, once you file your sworn statement, dahil tapos na yung suspension, and then the OBC hindi naman nag-inform sa'yo na ikaw ay may false statement, automatic you can resume practicing law. That's the case of Valdez versus Hipe. That's the new development. Okay? And that is different from the old rule in Paras versus Paras. Maliwanag Ito, I think, klaro na yan. So, mas mabilis na ngayon. Because ganito ang sitwasyon, bakit sinabi ng korte yan? In the past, suspended yung abogado for 3 years. For 1 year lang, 1 year. Nag-file siya ng sworn statement sa OBC. Aantayin niya ngayon na ang Supreme Court mag-issue ng order lifting the order of suspension. Based on experience, hindi ako. Never pa tayo napunta dyan. Wag naman. Based experience ng mga abogado, 1 year siyang suspended, nag-antay siya ng mga 2 to 3 years para lang ma-lift yung order of suspension. That's counterproductive. Hindi ba? Sayang. Kaya, ang sabi ng Korte Suprema, as a necessary consequence of the automatic lifting of suspension, the resumption of the practice of law is likewise deemed automatic. So kaya, mas madaling mag-ingat kaysa maghisi. Huwag na lang tayo magpasuspinde para walang problema. Di ba? Ayan. Okay. So wala tayong experience na personal dyan sa suspension na yan. Experience ito ng ibang lawyers na nababasa natin yung desisyon. Maliwanag tayo sa order of suspension at saka yung resumption to practice law after the order of suspension. Now, puntahan natin yung disbarment. According to the Supreme Court, disbarment is the most severe form of disciplinary sanction. And as such, the power to disbar must always be exercised with great caution. Hindi trigger happy ang Korte Suprema dyan. Hindi porke nag-file ka ng disbarment proceeding, i-disbar na kaagad yan. No. Diba? Kasi sabi ko nga sa inyo, kahit kami mga abogado, hesitant kami na mag-file ng disbarment against a fellow lawyer. Unless talagang inis na inis ka na. Diba? Kasi nakataya dyan yung career niya at saka yung buhay niya. May lawyer akong alam na nung lumabas yung order of disbarment, nagpakamatay eh. I-google nyo na lang. Kilala ko yun pero ayoko na sabihin kung sino, no? Pinadisbar siya ng kanyang wife. Nung lumabas, alam niya, nalalabas na yung order of disbarment, he hung himself. I don't know, bakit ganun? Professor namin dati. Kaya bigla siya nawala, yun ang balita namin. anyway, ayan talaga eh. So kaya, only for the most imperative reasons and in clear cases of misconduct affecting the standing and moral character of the lawyer as an officer of the court and member of the bar. Dun lang ipapataw ang penalty of disbarment. Now, can you put up the defense of prescription against disbarment? Sabi ng Korte Suprema, it is worth mentioning that the defense of prescription is untenable. Okay, ano ba yung prescription? Nag-lapse na. The court held that administrative cases against lawyers do not prescribe. The lapse of considerable time from the commission of the offending act to the institution of the administrative complaint will not erase the administrative culpability of a lawyer. Why? Otherwise, members of the bar would only be emboldened to disregard the very oath they took as lawyers, presiding from the fact that as long as no private complainant would immediately come forward, they stand a chance of being exonerated for whatever administrative liability they ought to answer for. So kaya nga, ito ang may forever. Ha? Yung complaint against lawyers do not prescribe. Take note of that. Imprescriptible. So may forever. Okay? Oh. Yung proceeding for suspension or disbarment, they are the same. Same rules yan. Ha? Yung penalty lang ang magkaiba. Now, siyempre, sabi ko sa inyo kanina, pag serious offenses yan, ay disbarment yan. So, may forever ba na disbarred? Ito. Under Section 47 of Canon 6, a lawyer who has been disbarred may file a verified petition for judicial clemency. After 5 years from the receipt of the order, decision, resolution of disbarment. So wala namang forever na disbarred. Pwede naman siyang mag-apply, mag-file ng petition for judicial clemency. Kaya lang dito na, material na dito yung reason for disbarment. Okay? Eh, ang nakalagay doon, his name is ordered stricken from the roll of attorney. Nag-file siya after 5 years ng verified petition for judicial clemency. Iko-consider ng korte yung reason why he was disbarred in the first place. Eh. Di ba? So balikan natin yung case ng Caronan versus Caronan. Oh, pwede, hindi pwede mag-file yun ang petition for judicial clemency. Bakit? In the first place, hindi nga siya qualified na maging lawyer. Eh. Di ba? So it depends on the ground why the lawyer was disbarred. In one case, yung mamaya may kita nyo, Macarubo versus Macarubo, at tinignan ng Korte Suprema, ay nagbago naman na ito. Ayan. Ha? So, ano yung mga dapat gawin? At kasama doon sa verified petition for judicial clemency, you have the 2021 case of Nunez versus Attorney Ricafort. It is now integrated in Section 48, Canon 6. Una, the verified petition was filed after 5 years from the receipt of the order, decision, or resolution of disbarment. Can the lawyer file a petition for judicial clemency before the lapse of 5 years? I don't think so. Diba? Maliwanag kasi dyan, 5 years lang. Eh. That is accordingly to give the disbarred lawyer ample time to think of the reasons why she was disbarred. Okay? Now, that the disbarred lawyer has fully complied with the terms and conditions of all prior disciplinary orders, including orders for restitution. Kasi ano bang madalas na dahilan ng disbarment or suspension ng mga abogado? Simple lang. Pareho po nagsisimula sa letter P. Dalawa lang. Yung isa pera. Yung isa daw, sabi ng estudyante ko, sir, puri. Okay. So pera o puri lang talaga yan. Ha? Now, to continue with Section 48, that i-include niya rin ito, no? That he or she recognizes the wrongfulness and seriousness of the misconduct for which he or she, take note, he or she palagi, was disbarred by showing positive acts evidencing reformation. So nagsisi na siya. At nakita niya yung kanyang mistake at nag-apologize na, that he or she has reconciled or attempted in good faith to reconcile with a private offended party in the disbarment case. If that's possible. Kasi minsan, baka yung nagpa-disbar sa abogado, patay na, paano ka naman mag-apologize pa doon? Di ba? Ayan. If it's not possible, the lawyer has to include in that petition for judicial clemency a reason why reconciliation could not be made. Okay? And if there's no private offended party dun sa disbarment, abay kailangan niya include ng public apology. O na siya ay sorry or he regret what happened. Notwithstanding the conduct for which the disbarred lawyer was disciplined, he or she has the requisite good moral character and competence. O, ayan naman, madali yan, di ba? In the case of Macarubo versus Macarubo, ito naman, ang dahilan dito, bakit siya na-disbar, married, separated de facto. Nagkaroon siya ng panibagong asawa, nagpakasal yata, so bigamos marriage na ito. And then, nagsawa na naman siya doon sa pangalawa, humanap ng pangatlo. Nako, ang nagpa-disbar sa kanya yung second. Yung first na madaling nakamove on. Yung second ang problema, so pinadisbar siya. Now, after 9 years, he filed a petition for judicial clemency. So ito nga yung ruling na ito ng korte dito, at saka yung Nunez versus Ricafort, are now integrated in the CPRA. Okay? At yun yung discuss natin. So pwede siyang mag-attach any of the following allegations to support that he still has productive years, that he can still contribute, na siya ay nagbago na. Okay? Ano yan? That he still has productive years that can be put to good use if given a chance. Sayang naman, nag-aral siya, abogado siya for a long time, nagkamali lang minsan, hindi na ba pwedeng pagbigyan? Di ba? And a showing of promise. Ano ba ito maipapakita niya? Na mayroon pa siyang intellectual aptitude. Natural, abogado Learning or legal acumen. Pwede pa siya makapag-contribute to the legal scholarship and the development of the legal system or administrative and other relevant skills, as well as potential for public service. Sayang naman, kung di nyo ako ibabalik bilang abogado, sabi nung na-disbar na abogado, yung aking pinag-aralan, sayang. That can still be put to good use. Okay? Now, how would the court resolve? Pala kinalaman yung picture, How would the court resolve petitions for judicial clemency? This is outlined in Section 49, Canon 6, that upon receipt of the petition, the Supreme Court shall conduct a preliminary evaluation and determine if the same has prima facie merit. Hindi prima facie, walang ganon. Prima facie. Anong ibig sabihin niyan? On its face. Prima facie Latin, meaning on its face. There is merit on the petition for judicial clemency. Now, if the petition has prima facie merit, the Supreme Court shall refer the petition to the Office of the Bar Confidant or any other fact-finding body designated by the court to investigate, report, and recommend to the Supreme Court. So pag yan na nangyari, may good fighting chance na yung abogado na ma-restore. Kasi nag-imbestiga na Because if the court does not find prima facie merit, it will be denied outright. Okay? So kaya pagka ipinorward na baliktad, if you can notice, pagka suspension at gusto niya nang natapos na yung period, file siya sa OBC. Hindi na kailangan makarating pa sa Supreme Court itself unless nagsinungaling siya. So immediately can resume practicing. Valdez versus Hipe. Now, pagka disbarment at gusto niyang magpa-reinstate, sa Supreme Court ang filing ng petition for judicial clemency. If there is prima facie merit, the Supreme Court will direct the OBC or any fact-finding body as may be designated by the Supreme Court to make the investigation, submit report and recommendation. Hindi may good fighting chance na sabi ko yung abogado. Because if the petition has no merit on its face, the court will dismiss it. Okay? Now, under Section 50 of Canon 6, the office of the bar confidant or any other fact-finding body designated shall conduct the investigation and submit to the Supreme Court its report and recommendation within 90 calendar days from receipt of the referral. So mabilis, 90 calendar days na, ba? 3 months. Oh. Okay? Now, what is the quantum of evidence para ma-restore yung abogado into the practice of law? The quantum of evidence is clear and convincing evidence. That's provided under Section 51 of Canon 6. And what is our understanding of clear and convincing evidence? Walang kinalaman yung picture. Baga, clear ba yan? Clear and convincing evidence means that the evidence presented by a party during trial must be highly and substantially more probable to be true than not. So more or less, tama itong sinasabi niya. And the trier of fact must have a firm belief or conviction in its factuality. So kukumbinsihin mo lang itong hearing officer o yung trier of facts, right? O yung judge, as the case may be. Now, under Section 52, there are prohibitions. Pagka ang lawyer ay suspended or disbarred, shall not be employed or engaged in the practice of law, including the following acts. Hindi niya pwedeng i-perform ito. Letter A, providing legal consultation or advice. Dahil alam sa community na abogado ito, sinuspindi, may nagtatanong pa rin at nagpapabayad siya, hindi na po pwede yun. Madidisbar yan. Appearing on behalf of a client in any hearing or proceeding before any court, tribunal, other government agency or office. Hindi pwede. Prohibited yan. Appearing as a representative of a client at a deposition or other discovery matter. Bawal yun. Negotiating or transacting any legal matter for or on behalf of a client with third parties. That's also prohibited. Kasi these are acts constituting practice of law. Then, receiving, disbursing, or otherwise handling a client's funds. Unless sinabi nung kliyente, binibigay ko sa iyo, not as a lawyer. Pero kung as a lawyer, bawal yan. And then, teaching law subjects in any educational institution. Of course, sa law school, bawal na. Nagtuturo naman pala siya sa college, pero hindi naman law subject. Can he do that? Yes. Kasi ang bawal lang, law subjects. Kasi nga, as I told you earlier this morning, ang Commission on Higher Education may memorandum, no? Said memorandum order something, na ang magtuturo dapat ng mga law courses, law subjects, at saka taxation subjects sa business courses must be lawyers or accountants. Suspendido o disbarred itong abogado, hindi siya pwede magturo ng law subjects. Other subjects, probably. Baka naman siya ay chemist. Diba? Maraming chemist. Ano ba chemist? Chemist umaasa. Pwede siya magturo niyan. Acting and be not natural. So later on, we'll be discussing notarization. Notary public. Naku, daming violation dyan. Okay? A suspended lawyer shall immediately cease and desist from the practice of law until the suspension is lifted by the Supreme Court. Kaya lang ito, yun na nga, clarify na nung Valdez versus Hipe. Any client previously represented by a suspended lawyer may engage the services of a new lawyer. Of course, suspended yung abogado And then, the disbarment or suspension of a handling lawyer shall not terminate the attorney-client relationship. How about writing a book? Ay natural, hindi rin pwede kung law book yan. Pero kung ito naman ay tungkol doon sa kanyang biography o kung ano man tungkol sa ibang subject, pwede siguro, but not law. Hindi po pwede yan. Although may mga alam ako na ang nagre-revise nung law books ng mga lawyers na wala na ay yung mga kamag-anak nila na hindi naman lawyers. Kaya sabi ko dun sa anak ko, maging lawyer ka na kasi pag namatay ako, walang magre-revise ng mga libro ko eh. Hindi po pwedeng i-revise yan ng non-lawyer. Okay? So, and she'll be taking the bar exam with you, no? She'll be taking the bar also this September. We're also praying na mapasama siya dun sa mga katulad nyo, napapasa sa bar exam. Okay? So the disbarment or suspension of a handling lawyer shall not terminate the lawyer-client relationship o siya between the client and the law firm kung nasa law firm siya. Pero kung siya ay solo practitioner, wala na yon. Disbarred na siya o kaya suspended siya. Unless otherwise, client chooses otherwise, no? Bawa, yung kliyente sabi niya, sige, marami naman kayong abogado sa firm ninyo, iba na lang mag-handle. Wag na lang yung suspended. Kasi hindi niya naman personal na kaso yan, di ba? Although, naka-assign sa kanya. Kasi naka-firm naman yan eh. Now, what about the death of a lawyer? Well, sabi ng Section 12, Canon 6, no? Disciplinary proceedings may not be instituted against a lawyer who has died. Patay na eh. Oh. If such proceedings have been instituted, notwithstanding the lawyer's death, the administrative case against the lawyer shall be dismissed. Kasi dati-rati sa old rule, na i-file yung kaso, disbarment, for example, the lawyer died. Okay? May option ang korte na ituloy pa rin to exonerate the lawyer. Baka nang wala talaga siyang kasalanan. But right now, under this rule, Section 12, Canon 6, wala na yan. Kasi nga, sayang yung oras ng korte o ng mga investigators. Patayin na eh. That extinguishes liability, di ba? Okay?